Hello and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name is Jessica and this is my very first Flosstube video, so I do hope you like and subscribe to help me out on my first video. I would super appreciate that. I thought this video would be good to do an introduction about me, how I got into stitching, WIP Parade, some of the things I'm working on. I have about 10 or less than 10 because I am a newer stitcher. And then I also have some haul that I'll leave for the end of the video because, like I said, I am a beginner, so I'm kind of like building my stash and document like my stitching journey and go through like all the lessons that I've learned and stuff. So let's start with me and the introduction. Like I said, my name is Jessica and I am 36 years old. I live in rural New York with my boyfriend of like 8 years. We're basically married. We have no children, but we do have 2 wonderful dogs that we are so in love with. They are everything to us. They are our fur babies. And I'll put like clips or a video or pictures on the screen for you guys to see them. So we have 2 Weimaraners. And the first one, his name is Sterling. He is a male. He's going to be, I think, 6 years old this year. And he is considered a silver. That is like the color of their coat. The other one is our baby girl. She is 3 years old and she is the most loving, snuggly dog I have ever had. She loves to snuggle with us. I love that. I love being on the couch stitching with her like curled up next to me or like in my office. And she has a very unique color to her. Weimaraners are not white, and we think that she might be piebald, which is not, it's not albino because she's not completely white with like the red eyes, but I think piebald is where part of like the melanin in their skin, basically the skin doesn't have pigment everywhere. So that's why she's kind of got patches of color or like little spots. And it's very cute how her face is like split right down the middle. And they love running around and playing in our backyard. A little bit more about me. I have a degree in IT and I work in IT full time. I love doing creative things in, my off time. I've done lots of stuff. I've done painting, I've done pottery, some screen printing, a little bit of everything except maybe like fiber arts. I actually have a traditional art YouTube channel and I've had it for about 10 years posting on and off. But I went through kind of like a hard time last year and I stopped posting on the channel and I wanted something to still like be creative, but something that I didn't have to like really think about. I wanted to do something with like a pattern or a kit, and that is how I got started. I feel like what really got me addicted is because it's like checking off a list or like an item on your checklist. That's how cross stitch seems to me. Like after every stitch, I'm like checking one off the box and there's, a progress to get to completion. And if someone doesn't understand that, I sometimes describe it as a bag of potato chips. Like someone opens a bag of potato chips and you're like, no, I'm just gonna have like 1, maybe 2, and then you keep going. And that's how I feel like stitching is, because you're like, oh, I'll just do a couple more, or I'll just do this color over here, or just one more thread for the night. And I just really enjoy it. It's, relaxing. It keeps my mind, focused on the stitching and not anything else. I like it so much that I made myself an app. It's also publicly available, so you guys can get it from the App Store on Apple and the Google Play Store for Android. I will leave a link in the description below. And what I'll do is for my next video is do like an overview of the app so you guys can kind of see it. but it's all the things that I like tracking stats and, you know, project wheels and all that information about the cross stitch projects that I have. I think I consider myself a seasonal stitcher. Because I live in New York, we do experience all 4 seasons, which I kind of appreciate as I've gotten older. Fall is probably my favorite, fall and Halloween. And I like to stitch more like modern patterns. Modern, I guess. You'll see as we get into, you know, my WIPs and stuff. I do want to show you some paintings that I made over on my art channel, but they're paintings that I want to eventually turn into cross stitch patterns. Like, I hope people are interested in stitching them as much as I am. I don't know how to make cross stitch patterns yet. That's something I'll have to look into. If you guys have suggestions, please put them in the comments to let me know. But let me just show you 2 paintings really quick. They're watercolor paintings. Watercolor is probably my favorite medium. And look at this, isn't that so pretty? It's something I painted a couple years ago. It's very summery, springy, colorful. I believe it was for a greeting card design that I had printed and made into greeting cards to sell at a craft fair. But I thought this would be so beautiful as a cross stitch. And then the second one is this. It's kind of like a Celtic design with all my like favorite colors with the blues and purples. And then the edge of it, it's hard to tell, but it's actually done with a silver metallic marker. So I thought that'd be really pretty to do with silver thread. So yeah, if you guys would ever be, you know, interested in me making these into patterns, just let me know. Let's kind of get into the WIP Parade. So the first thing I actually got into was embroidery. I got an embroidery kit, and it was a Halloween kit, and it came with 4 patterns. And it was really nice because it came with everything. It came with basic instructions. I looked up some more tutorials on YouTube as I worked on them. I did complete one. So here is the bat one that I finished. I did not like finish off the back, so I'll have to do something for that and then be able to hang it so that it's kind of like a fully finish. And then I started the second one, which is the witch hat. I didn't get very far on that, but it's nice because it has like the outline and everything. Then I ordered my first cross stitch pattern because I wanted to try them at the same time, the embroidery and cross stitch, and see what I liked more. So the first cross stitch pattern I ever bought was, and I'll put a picture here, is Colorfully Sarah's Shop, and it's like a video game design. And here is my start, very small. This is on 14 count Aida, just bought from Michael's, and I hated it. I hated the stiffness. So I think if I wash it, maybe it'll soften up a little bit. I'm not sure. I do want to finish the pattern. I do think the pattern's beautiful and it has like my favorite colors, and I do want to hang it in my office. So I do want to get around to finishing it, but I think I might switch the fabric I'm using now that I've been stitching a little bit. I've only been doing this for about a year. I don't know if I said that. So after I knew I would like cross stitch, then I bought my first SAL, my first Stitchalong, and it was also a kit, and it was from Stitchonomy. It was the Cozy Cottage banner for 2025, and this was in 2025 when like all the tariff issues and stuff started happening, and they're in the UK, so I actually got like the package late, and then it was off, you know, from the days they were doing, and so it was just kind of hard to keep up. But this is what I have. I did the whole frame, and then maybe like 12-ish days. They're not even complete. There's still like little pieces in each one that need to be finished. But I do want to finish it. It has like some like a bell and like some charms to put on it. They did send like a cute little project bag. So that's the other thing. I don't really have like all the cute project bags. I do want to make some, or at least try making some of my own. I don't know how that will go. I thought that would be a good video to do here on the channel. So that was like fall time, and then it was coming into like November, and I'm thinking about like Christmas gifts, and I wanted to do something for my sister. So this is, I'll put a picture of the pattern here. I don't know the name of the pattern or the shop on Etsy, but it's like a samurai frog, and she likes like pastel pinks and purples, and she's very into like Japanese stuff. So I thought it was cute to do like a Japanese frog. Oh, I'm sorry this stuff is not ironed. I need to get an iron. I don't iron things. So yeah, so for my next floss tube, hopefully, you know, I'll have gotten an iron by then and iron things out so they're not wrinkly. But I'm trying to, you know, do the best I can at the moment. It's my first floss tube, okay? So yeah, so I didn't get very far. I clearly underestimated the time the stitching takes, which is something I've learned. I've also learned we need borders. And I did not leave borders, but I still want to finish it for her and gift it to her at whatever point that gets finished. Along with gifts, I wanted to make my basically mother-in-law something, and this is what I started for her. Her favorite color is purple. So this is basically a purple mandala. I only got like a quarter of it done because, again, I underestimated, you know, like how much time it takes to do things. So here's a close-up. I don't have the name of this fabric, and I didn't say the fabric for the one before it. I'll have to look that up and put it on the screen when I edit these videos. Okay, so then it's like the end of 2025, and I know that I'm still interested in doing more cross stitching and taking on maybe like a bigger project. And I was watching Adelaide Stitches at the time, and at the time she was talking about climbing goat designs. She was signing up for their ocean sale, and so I was very interested in trying that out. This is what I have so far. This is literally not even the entire first part, and that's all I have. This is on 18 count stream by Fiber on a Whim. And I do want to continue working on it, even though it's a sale and I'm terribly, terribly behind. What happened is, because I, like I said, live in rural New York, the closest thing I have to me is a Michael's, which is half an hour one way, so an hour round trip. It's not even like a big Michael's, so they're often out of DMC colors. And what happened, I think from what I remember, is they didn't have all the colors to finish the first part. And then because I was already behind, then it just kind of like made me feel bad and not keep going. But I do want to keep going, because every time I bring it out, I'm like, oh, I could do, you know, a couple stitches. But by this point, you'll see this little, it's hard to tell, but there's a pencil mark right here, because I learned about borders and putting, you know, 2 to 3 inches and not just 2 inches to the total number, because you have to do it on both sides, making it either 4 or 6 total actually. You know, another beginner mistake. I think what I want to do is make like a beginner mistake video, or like everything I've learned, because I feel like that could be helpful to someone else who's starting out. Along with that pattern from Climbing Goat Designs, I also purchased the 2026 temperature pattern because I thought that was really interesting and very new to me. I've never heard of temperature patterns before, and I thought that would be really fun to try. And the moon phase one I thought was so beautiful. So this is, oh, I need the board for this one. It's very see-through. This is done on 16 count opalescent black Aida. And you can see I did not account for margins properly. And when I got like over here and saw, you know, how off it was, and it started like fraying a lot. So that's why I have all these like purple like whip stitches along the edge. It was just not very enjoyable fabric to work on, but it's very pretty. At that point, I just stopped. I was going to redo it, so I did get another piece and properly counted for margins. I do want to unpick this or frog it. I just think it's a lot of time, but I want to reuse the fabric for another pattern I have in my backlog. So it's not going to go to waste. I will do that eventually. But here is the second start. So same fabric, and this time I just properly accounted for margins. And what I did also was I used 4 threads. I think that was 2. And then I wanted it to be a little more full looking, and the holes in this fabric seem really big for even being like a 16 count. So what I did is I took 2 threads and a loop start, making it 4 threads. I feel like it looks more full that way. Maybe it's overkill. I'm not sure, but I like the way it looks. So I'm gonna, you know, proceed with that. I'm excited to go through, you know, and start, you know, actual temperature stitching, because being that it's like July, very behind, and I am going to continue working on it. I'm just not going to do another temperature pattern until this one is finished. Then earlier this summer, I purchased Seaside by Emma Congdon. Also, I think she also goes by Stitch Rovia. And this is what I have done so far of that. And this one is my favorite. This is done on, I want to say 16 count. And it's just 3 colors. So I think I love that it's teal, which is my favorite color. It's only 3 colors total, so it's easily, like I take it when I go over to friends and stuff. So it's easy to stitch on, and there's also just full crosses. There's no back stitch, no quarter stitch. There's also big areas of color, so you're not switching threads a lot. So yeah, I think this might be my current like favorite piece to work on. But being a seasonal stitcher, this is gonna be like kind of going away soon and starting into like Halloween and fall. But this is my last WIP. I haven't been keeping track. I'll have to put a number on the screen. So here is the last piece, which is Night Window by Tiny Modernist. I'll do little close-ups here of each panel. So this was a class exclusive to Midsummer Stitch, which is a virtual cross-stitch retreat, if you are unfamiliar, hosted by Steph over at Lindy Stitches. This was my very first time, and I am very close to finishing. I only have, I don't know the exact percentage, but I don't have very much left to do. So I do want to finish it, and then that'll be like my first real finish, and maybe in my next floss tube it'll be my first fully finished FFO. There is a recording of the class still available like 30 days after the event, and I do want to finish it before that recording goes away. So that is it for the WIPs, but now it's time for some haul if that's something you are interested in. So I don't have a stash to pull from. I'm kind of like building my stash as we go, so it might seem a lot to you. And this isn't something I purchased all at once. This is probably, you know, this is multiple purchases over the last maybe 2 months. I'm going to start with what I got from Lindy Stitches from the Midsummer Stitch event in the shopping haul. The first thing I got is 16 count Sage Summer Khaki Ada by Witchlet. I think that's how you say it. So this is like a tan. It's very stiff, so I'm hoping once I like get it under some water, it'll like soften up. And this is for the exclusive Midsummer Stitch pattern created by JetX Stitch, which is so pretty. And then they were also selling packs of the called for floss. And because like I said, I live where I don't always have access to every color, or they're not always in stock, I thought it would just be easier to purchase the floss as a pack, so I know that I have every piece to start. The other thing that I really loved was the event specific floss by Pirate and Robin. That teal and purple with a little bit of pink. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. Then the last thing I got from the event was Moonlit Garden hand-dyed fabric by Stitch Me, and it was so lovely to see her like little segment where she was showing all the fabrics and colors, and it's amazing. I want so many, but this one I had to have. Again, it's called Moonlit Garden. This is 16 count Ada. That blue and purple gets me every time. I don't have a specific pattern to go on this yet. So this is just gonna be sitting in my stash waiting for a pattern. The next batch of stuff comes from 123 Stitch. That's probably the place I order from most online because, like I said, I don't have stuff available to me. I will start with this pattern. This is Cup of Cheer by Shannon Christine Designs. I think that's how you say it. I'm super excited to start this for Christmas. So I think I might do like a kit up with me video. I don't know if that sounds interesting to you. I thought that would be fun. I also purchased the 14 count Blue Blizzard Opalescent Ada. That is the called for, or what 123 Stitch listed. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on it, and it's like a very light blue, but very pretty. I can't wait to start that around Christmas time. The other fabric I got is 16 count Ada hand-dyed earth fiber on a whim. So this one is for Sprouting Lupine's newest sal called Evergreen. It's like pinned bug collection. So I thought that was a really fun sal to try, and this is one of the fabrics that she recommended. I also got 40 count Newcastle linen in Spicy Mustard by Fiber on a Whim, and this is my first piece of linen. I'm very nervous to stitch on this. I've never stitched on linen. I don't know very much about linen, being a beginner. So if you have any tips, you know, please let me know. I don't know when I'm going to start this, but this will be for the pattern Trillium Forest by JetX Stitch. I have lots of JetX Stitch patterns in the backlog, and I love her moon sampler. I'm so excited for that to come out. That is gorgeous. I'm gonna get it. The last piece of fabric I got from 123 Stitch is this 16 count Gothic Ada. Look at this. Oh my gosh. So beautiful. Oh, I love it. I can't wait to start this. This is going to be for a pattern I purchased by Emma Congdon, also known as Stitchrovia. I think it's called A Little Magic or Little Magic. It's a Halloween design, and I'm super excited because that'll be coming out soon and starting that. Then I got a couple other things from 123 Stitch. I got these 3 rainbow blending threads. Now, they are for a pattern that calls for Kreinik. Kreinik is like impossible to find. So I don't know if these could be substituted. I've never worked with Kreinik before, so I don't know if this is the same like thickness or if this is really thin, because they do call it blending thread. But I figured I'd try it in olive color, silver, and a gold. I also got some beads, which I've never beaded anything before, so this will be my first time. And they're little Mill Hill beads. I thought there was a lot more, but maybe just because they're so tiny. So I got gold, and then this is considered gray, but I'm going for like a silver look. So I think that'll work. And these are for another Shannon Christine Designs. I think it's called Luna Moth. I'll put a picture. I love that pattern, but there's beads and backstitch and stuff I'm not used to. So that'll be probably a more advanced pattern for me to try out. And I think that would also look really good on the black opalescent. So now I'm going to do the last bit of haul, which is from Amazon. Let's see, this big hunk of, this is 16 count Ada, and it's 59 inches by 39 inches. Like, this is huge. I got this because I wanted to try dyeing my own fabric with like RIT dye and stuff. I thought that would be fun to do for a video and to be able to have when I do like new patterns rather than ordering everything. I might be able to make it. We'll see. So I got this, which is very hard to show, but this is water soluble, like gridded fabric. I mean, it's not fabric, but it has holes like Ada. So what you can do is like put this over clothing and then stitch, and then this dissolves away. So the idea I had for this is I saw Catherine from Catherine's Stitching Chronicles do neon cicada on a black t-shirt, and I think she used something like this, and I really wanted to do it. I thought that turned out really pretty. I also have the neon cicada pattern, so I wanted to try it out. I still have to get a black t-shirt though. Next I got these. I saw a picture of someone sorting their floss skeins or skeins into these clear acrylic drawers, and they're long enough to hold the whole skein. So I thought I could store my skeins that way. So, because right now they're literally just in bags, but you can do these drawers in vertical. Or what's really nice is you can turn them horizontal, pull out the drawers. You can have them like this or like this. And I think what I'll do is I have a bunch of floss to organize, and I thought that would be a fun video, like showing you guys how I put the floss, organize it in my app, in the inventory, and then we can organize it in the drawers. Maybe that's something you're interested in. I'm not sure. This coin holder plastic like binder holder. I saw on Instagram of someone doing a floss swatch book, and coming from like the art side of things with watercolor, I did a lot of watercolor swatching. I loved doing it. I thought it was very pretty. So the fact that somebody did it with floss, I was like, absolutely, like I need to do that. So I got all the stuff, and basically what you'll do is each one will fit into these holders. You will use this 14 count plastic Ada. So I bought like a couple sheets, and you stitch the color in a like small square block, and then you use a black floss to write the number, and then you line it up. I think that would be really pretty to have, and I thought it would be maybe like a fun either video series or like a short / reels kind of thing that I could do. And then I got this UMC Stag embroidery floss in black, and this is just for the numbering on those cards. It was very cheap, like this whole, I think it's a pack of 12. This pack of 12 was $5, which is like half the cost of DMC. So I figured because I'm just labeling stuff that I don't need to use DMC, and this black floss should be good enough. And then the last thing that I have is just a ton of floss from Michaels. It's for a couple of these patterns. Yeah, like so much floss. You have even more. So yeah, so I have a lot of floss to organize and put in my inventory and make swatches of. So I have so many colors to do this. I'm, really excited to do that. I think that's really fun. But that's it for my video, for my very first floss tube. If you made it all the way to the end, because I'm sure this video is really long, please put a needle emoji so I know you made it. And I really appreciate it if you did. Hopefully you've liked and subscribed if you've lasted this long. I'm excited to have this FlosStube channel, and let me know what videos you might be interested in seeing or excited for. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! I need a thumbnail. Is it holding all the floss?